Yeah. We're going to continue our discussion on Woman King. Come on in the chat. Come on in the chat room. And come on in here. We're going to follow up with what we was talking about earlier on caffeine. Because I couldn't read y'all comments for those of you who was watching earlier when I was talking about the Stud King. The king of the stud movies. I couldn't read y'all comments. I want to hear what y'all got to say. So is that Woman King movie, is it entertainment or is it propaganda? And why did that movie and all the people in that movie, like when I saw some of the scenes, why did it look like the 1993 LA Raiders? I mean, chicks was looking like Leon Lett. Not Leon, that's the Cowboys, Leon Lett. They were looking like Steve Atwater, nigga. Cats was looking like Ray Lewis. And I was like, man, they don't ever want to put black women in nothing. Anytime we want to see a natural born black woman in something, they're going to have, uh, you know, a mulatto or what's that one Puerto Rican chick that was complaining that she only gets black roles? What's her name? I didn't even know she was Latina. Cause she looked black and she was complaining she only gets black roles. You know, they be giving black roles to people who don't even want black roles. Other than Viola Davis, you can't get a natural born black woman to be a star in shit, especially on the sitcom scene. Like, if you think about it, Tashina Arnold is probably the last beautiful black woman that you've seen on both TV and movies that to play a respectable role. You know, outside of Viola Davis, like she's an actress, she's more TV, but Tashina Arnold was probably the last, like, cause she had Martin, Everybody Hates Chris. She's had like a lot of roles. She's probably like the last dark-skinned black woman that's beautiful. Cause Viola Davis is a great actress, but no disrespect, I'm not even gonna say it. But we know it's a difference between like women who are great at what they do. And I'm not saying every woman has to be a model. Not every woman has to be like some glamour. It's beautiful. We should have a range of women who get roles and everything. But for the most part, the last like really pretty black woman to get like a lot of roles, like dark skin, it's probably Tashina Arnold. Like, can we think of more? You know? But when they want to I can't speak. Lord Jesus, I apologize. When it's time to portray women as beasts, they go find the darkest cast of women they could find. I didn't know Hollywood knew dark-skinned black women existed. Like, they have Lupita, but as far as like American-born black women, like, y'all don't exist. And like, they'll have the dark-skinned women like I said, to play certain movie roles. But I mean, in your everyday TV commercials, where are the dark-skinned black women in your TV commercials? Where are the dark-skinned black women in your sitcoms? Where are the dark-skinned black women, playing just your everyday roles? You really don't see them. But when it's time to tell a story of women and men fighting. They got light-skinned Africans. The way them Arabs have been running through goddamn Africa, the Arabs been raping black women in Africa 3 times longer than a damn European. You've been reading your fucking history. Arabs been all up in that African pussy since the fucking 800s. You had the Hyksos. You had the Greeks didn't go that far, and the Romans didn't go that, but like as far as Africa's had so many invasions. It's all kind of light-skinned African chicks. And caramel colored African chicks. They exist. But when it's time to have a woman king and black men fighting black women, they go find the darkest ones they can find. That ought to tell you something right there. That alone ought to tell you something. They leave out the fact that it was men and women in them armies. It was never only women. It was always men and women on the attack. They say, according to the Smithsonian, and this is according to the Smithsonian, not me. You can go up to the Smithsonian magazine. I don't have the link right now, but you can read it on the Smithsonian magazine if you want. At some point, there started to become more female warriors because the Dahomey were a militaristic tribe. And a lot of the men did start to get killed off over the time because they're one of the few tribes or kingdoms in Africa, West Africa, that had a standing military. Most kingdoms didn't have standing militaries. They would disband militaries when the war was over. And hit the like button. It's 50 of you jive sons of bitches in here, and it's only 9 likes. Well, anyway, when it comes down to it, it's a half-true story. They had guns. They were getting guns from the Portuguese and then later on the French in exchange for killing motherfuckers. So the same thing that the Europeans was doing to us, they was doing to other African tribes, outgunning motherfuckers. That's until them French came in with that Gatling gun and fucked them up and put them under subjugation. But is this entertainment or propaganda? All the goddamn wars that white folks fought amongst themselves, they don't put that stuff on camera other than World War II, because that was the last war that America won decisively, was World War II. They don't, they'll talk about that in a glorified way. But they ain't gonna talk to you about have they ever made a movie about the 100 Years' War? They ain't never made a movie about the 100 Years' War. They ain't 200 Years' War. They've never made a movie about the Crusades from the point of view of them going to chase sugar. They've never made a movie about how the Roman Empire had to pay the goddamn Vandals and Visigoths money to not raid their fucking kingdom. They ain't never made a money about the Carthaginians whooping Rome's ass. And Hannibal Barca. The real Hannibal. Is this propaganda or is it entertainment? Hey, what's up, Sugar D? Yeah. And like it's based, and it's funny. It's like how it's the way they mold the so-called true story. It's not true. Some of the names existed. The white guy they wrote in, he didn't exist. The Portuguese motherfucker. The kingdom existed. Some of the names existed. But some of those names didn't even fight in that particular battle that this particular movie was about. It's like saying, oh yeah, it's like them trying to sell you French fries, but what really was made was mashed potatoes. Yes, it's true, it's a goddamn potato, but it's two totally different outcomes between mashed potatoes and French fries. I love French fries. Nigga, I hate mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes, man, I hate them. Mashed potatoes and gravy, I don't give a fuck what you put on a mashed potato. I ain't never gonna, I hate baked potatoes. I don't give a fuck how much sour cream and kraut or where the fuck y'all put in baked potatoes. I hate that shit. That shit nasty to me. Baked potatoes are nasty. Mashed potatoes are nasty as fuck. But French fries, man, I love that shit. So yeah, it's a potato, but it's totally different things when you get down to the nitty gritty of how it's processed and what's done. That's why you gotta understand the details. The details matter. And this is brought to you by lightthemood.com, Jayla Baxter, and those beautiful, good smelling ass candles. Them candles smell like goddamn breakfast cereal. Shit, I be like, goddamn, I don't even eat cereal no more. Them candles be smelling good than the motherfucker. Weed smoke 22 for your discount of 40% off. Man. Hell yeah, baked potatoes are nasty. Fuck baked potatoes. I be seeing people split the little baked potato, and like me, I'm good on my grill, so I be baking potatoes on my grill for other people. I don't eat that shit, but I bake potato on my grill, you know, for my wife. My wife love that shit, so I slice that motherfucker up, put some bacon and all that, cheese and all that shit up in there, and put it on my grill for her. But I ain't eating that shit. Kiss my ass. I ain't eating no mashed potatoes either. Mashed potatoes, man, that's a slop of shit. That's white shit. White, like dog shit. You know, like them dog shits when they been eating too much grass. That's what mashed potatoes taste like to me. Some nasty ass shit. That texture makes me want to fucking vomit. You ain't gonna never see me no goddamn mashed potato, no baked potato. But I eat the fuck out some fries, especially if they seasoned fries. Some Cajun seasoned fries, some garlic fries, yeah. I don't do chili cheese fries. Man. I don't like cake icing either, smoke splitter. I'm a weird fat nigga. I just eat the same shit over and over again. I do not have a variety of palate. I really don't fuck with icing. Like other than chocolate, I like chocolate, like chocolate cake icing, but like all that other shit, I don't mind. I like that whipped cream icing because whipped cream ain't that. It's not too much, but like that other cake icing, that thick shit, man, that shit too goddamn sweet, man. Give me some water. Give me some water. And my wife be baking some dope ass cakes too. But man, I eat some of the icing, but that whole like back half of the cake that got that little shag of icing on the back of the cake when you eat it, like I eat the icing on top, but that whole little shag on the back side of the cake, on the shag side of the cake, I don't eat that. Like I cut my fork right there to where you got a wall of icing that's still on the plate, and I dump the rest of that shit in the trash, or give it to somebody else to eat it. Too fucking much, man. Yeah, like I'll eat the top of the frosting, but that whole back shag of the cake, I shave that shit off. I gotta go to Mr. Fry's, man. I ain't been to Mr. Fry's in a long time. He over here, he got a spot over there on Ralph Western. I ain't been to that nigga like in a year. But yeah, I'm a weird ass fat nigga. I don't have a big ass variety of what I eat. When the pandemic hit back in 2020, that's when I started. I'm different. Like I'm weird. I started eating Chinese food when the pandemic hit. Like, like a year before the pandemic hit, that's when I used to drive Uber. I stopped driving about a year before that pandemic hit. And I had to do the Uber pickup in a Chinese restaurant. And that shit smelled good. I never ate Chinese food my whole fucking life. But that shit smelled good. And I'm like, man, let me try this shit. And so I waited, and then when the pandemic hit, I tried Chinese food for I tried it before, I just hated that shit. I hate noodles. But I tried some fucking chow mein, and that shit was great. And in 2020, I started eating Chinese food. And I ate it a lot in 2020 and 2021. And it's like around summer 2021, I just stopped. And I ain't had no Chinese food like in a year now. But for about a year and a half, I fucked with Chinese food heavy. Now, man, I don't want no fucking broccoli beef. Give me the beef, leave the broccoli. I'm a weird ass fat nigga, boy. I like American food, I like nigga food, I like Mexican food, and I like seafood. And there's one more, Italian food. I fucks with Italian food. But I just started fucking with Italian noodles. Like I just started fucking with spaghetti last year too. Like the only pasta I like was lasagna. I just started eating like pasta in 2022. Like January 22, I asked like a chicken parmesan somewhere. And that shit was good than the motherfucker. That was my first time liking pasta in 2022. Like other than lasagna, when I eat Italian food, I'm either eating pizza or lasagna my whole life. Up until like 9 months ago. Like 9 months ago, I had like some angel hair pasta. And I was like, why the fuck they call that angel hair? This white bitch hair. I ain't no goddamn angel. I be going to the goddamn, I go to the pasta place now and be like, and let me give some of that angel hair pasta. Yeah. Angel hair pasta, let me get some of that. But before January 2022, I ain't fuck with no fettuccine. Fuck Alfredo, nigga. I got in a fight with a Mexican named Alfredo like in the 6th grade. I don't like no goddamn Alfredo. I don't like what do they call that? Pink sauce and all that shit. I never fuck with none of that. But lasagna and pizza, I'm down. Hell yeah, my diet weird, y'all. My shit weird as fuck. I'm weird. Have I ever came off to you niggas like I'm normal? I know I'm weird. Like I know I'm fucked up in my head. I got certain areas of my life, man, I'm fucked up. In some areas of my life, I got my shit together. In other areas of my life, man, that shit fucked up. But so is life. We all learning, you dig? The key is, are you still learning? Just don't be that nigga that think you got it all together and you don't need to fix nothing. That's where it's a problem. It's only a problem when you think you got it all together and you don't need to fix nothing. That's where it's a problem. But if you know you still learning and you know you still growing, nigga, play as fuck up sometime. You just got to forgive yourself and keep pushing. That's all. And that'd be the hardest part for me, forgiving myself. I'd be like, Dwan, you dumb motherfucker, you. And it took me forever to stop calling myself a dumb motherfucker. Nigga, that was a lifelong pattern. It took forever for me to stop doing that shit and to learn to forgive myself. You better learn to forgive yourself and learn to keep pushing. And if you learn to forgive yourself and you learn to keep pushing, you'll figure it out at some point. Plus, in life, we all living our cards out, nigga. We live our lives in these 13-year cycles. Every 13 years, you're a new person. You're a new person every 13 years. Hell, you're really a new person every 5 years, every 3 years. And if you're the same person you was 5 years ago, you a sorry motherfucker. Now, if you like in your 70s, that's different. I'm talking about like if you like 40, nigga, and you the same nigga you was at 35, what the fuck is your problem? If you 23 and you the same nigga you was or nigga that you was at 19, the fuck is your problem? Nigga, if you 42 and you the same nigga you was at 28, you just need to go ahead and just, you need to go ahead and just consider resetting things in your life. What's up, Greensboro, North Carolina? What you niggas talking about in here? Nah, I never tried bruschetta. I don't even know what bruschetta is. That sound like a ghetto bitch. Bruschetta? She got a front lace or a back lace weave? That nigga JT said, let's deliver DeJuan some potatoes. If you deliver me some potatoes, I swear to God, I'm going to find out where that delivery came from. I'm going to send that delivery back, and I'm going to put a timed out M80 in that motherfucker. So when it get to your house, when you open the thing, when you open a box, the box is going to flick the wick of the M80, and that hoe going to blow up in your face like Daffy Duck, nigga. And your nose going to be in the back of your head. And you'll be like, fuckering fuckatash. Watch, I'm going to do some straight up Looney Tune shit on your ass, nigga. You see me some mashed potatoes, nigga, you gonna walk out your front door and an anvil gonna fall on your head, nigga. I'm gonna treat you like Wile E. Coyote. You send some fucking mashed potatoes or a baked potato to my house. I'm not gonna kick your ass, nah. I'm gonna do some straight up Bugs Bunny shit, nigga. Nigga, you gonna open your front door and it's gonna be a motherfucking pie in your face like on Double Dare back in the day. You niggas in your 40s and late 30s, remember Double Dare? Mark Summers? I always wanted to do Double Dare. I always wanted to go through the obstacle course, man, and get slimed. Yeah, man. What's up, Quan? Yeah, Marlon Muye, he was hating. And Wild and Crazy Kids, nigga, man, shit. Wild and Crazy, man, dog. If it's any show in history I could have been on, it would have been Wild and Crazy Kids. And I'll never forget, they had one episode when the monster truck was there, and they did that shit at the Coliseum. And I was like, the Coliseum was right down there, shit down where my grandparents live. I was like, man, you mean to tell me them motherfuckers was down the street and I wasn't on that show? Nigga, remember they say, if you want to be on Wild and Crazy Kids, send a postcard into P.O. Box, such and such and such and such. Nigga, I sent like 3 or 4 postcards in to be on Wild and Crazy Kids. And then I remember the episode of Wild and Crazy Kids when they went to Magic Mountain and like they had to hold like some Kool-Aid in a jar while they was riding Colossus. Man, dog, if I was on the episode of Wild and Crazy Kids, nigga, you still wouldn't be able to tell me shit. Nigga, I'm 41 years old. I'd be like, man, fuck all that shit, nigga. I was on the episode of Wild and Crazy Kids when we got to go to Magic Mountain. Nigga, I have a Wild and Crazy Kids hoodie, nigga. Now, I'm talking about 2022. Nigga, I'd have a Wild and Crazy Kids coffee mug, nigga. I make my own shit. Think I'm playing. Shit. I remember I did a radio interview like 2 years ago. and it was me and Omar Gooding, and I was like, man, Wild and Crazy Kids. I know you probably tired of hearing this shit, but Wild and Crazy Kids was my shit. I used to love watching that shit, and then it'd be followed by Hey Dude. Y'all remember Hey Dude? Whatever happened to Danny from Hey Dude? Whatever happened to him? I'll be asking questions about like old TV shows, like whatever happened to you. Like, you ever ask yourself, whatever happened to Miss Levias on Lean on Me? Because remember, like when they sang that song, she tore the letter up. So did that mean she stayed at the school and her and Joe Clark got along? Or was that just an emotional moment and Joe Clark pissed her off again the next year and she demanded that she go to another school again? I'll be asking these questions like, whatever happened to Kid Ray? Was Kid Ray dead in a year like Joe Clark said he'd be dead in a year? You ever ask these questions? I really want to know. What the fuck ever happened to Kid Ray? My thinking is if Kid Ray lived, like he's now, like Vlad TV's gonna interview him and he's gonna say he co-created hip hop. That's what's gonna happen. If Kid Ray lived, Vlad gonna interview him and he's gonna be like he was a co-creator because he went to Eastside High. Yeah, Salute Your Shorts, that was my shit too. That little kid with the red hair mullet. What was that little white boy name on Salute Your Shorts with the red hair mullet? That nigga really had a mullet. I just want to slap the shit out of him because I hate mullets. Like, whatever happened to Eddie Arcadian from The Last Dragon? Like, how long, they couldn't have given Eddie Arcadian more than 3 years. He really didn't do that much. Like, he didn't, he sent some people to whoop Leroy's ass, but Leroy still lived, Leroy still lives, so Eddie Arcadian couldn't have gotten no more than 3 years. What did Eddie Arcadian end up doing when he got? Because if The Last Dragon was in 1985, if Eddie Arcadian served his 3 years, I mean he was out of the jail. He was out of jail by like 88, 89. Eddie Arcadian was out of jail. Whatever happened? What did he do? You said they fed him to the piranhas. Oh yeah, Pete and Pete. Man, why did they ever make Pete and Pete into a TV show? That was like that was like a little commercial. Pete and Pete was like a little 5-minute short. They should have made that into a whole fucking show. God damn, nigga, you can't drive, huh? Damn. Pete and Pete. Are you afraid of the dark? Ah, yeah. Oh, they did make it into a show. I stopped watching Nickelodeon by the time they made Pete and Pete into a show, though. Nigga, I used to like Nickelodeon when they had Inspector Gadget on. Inspector Gadget. Remember that? Speedy Gonzalez, then Inspector Gadget, and then it went into Salute Your Shorts, and Hey Dude, and Wild and Crazy Kids. That was the lineup. But me, back in the 80s and the 90s, I went to church too much. So I used to miss Wednesday night TV. Like, remember Wednesday night was the night that Doogie Howser came on. And I never got to see Doogie Howser because moms always had me at Wednesday night Bible study. And I used to be in church so much. I'll never forget when the riots broke out. The riots started on a Wednesday in Los Angeles, California. You know how I know it was a Wednesday? Because even though the riots, like, Florence and Normandy was like down the street from like one of the early houses I lived in when I was like 3. I went to 74th Street Elementary School. It's about a mile away from Florence and Normandy. So when the riots hit, I was at my parents' house. My parents, this when we lived off Crenshaw and Rodeo. And my grandfather had just got me a Crocodile Mile. That was like an evolution of the slip and slide. The slip and slide was just a little bum-ass slide. You slide down there, and it's over. The Crocodile Mile was way doper because you slide down there and it was like a little archway and you bust through the archway and into like a little pool, like boom. That was a Crocodile Mile. You slide, you bump, and you fall in. It was like you run, you slide, you jump, and take a dive. That was a TV commercial. I just remember that. Damn, how do I remember that? That commercial was from 1992. It was like you run, you slide, you hit the bump, and take a dive. That was the Crocodile Mile. My grandfather, Poppy, had just got me that. He didn't hardly get me shit. My grandfather, the one that just passed away back in June, Poppy, rest in peace, he actually got, that was one of the, I think one, like, he got me like 2 or 3 things ever. That was like one of the 2 or 3 things he ever got me. Crocodile Mile. And he got it for me the weekend before the LA riots. So I finally got it. I used to walk home from school. This 1992. So that means I'm in the 5th grade, I think. Yeah, that's 5th grade. Or 4th grade. I think 5th grade. 5th grade. 4th grade. 4th grade going into the 5th grade. I'm walking home from school. And it's 4th or 5th grade, I forgot. And so I'm home by myself. I get my Crocodile Mile. I put it out in my backyard. I put the water hose in it. I run. I slide. I hit the bump and took a dive. Nigga. But these helicopters is coming over. I mean, all these military helicopters. And mind you, it's for the riot, this is the LA, first day of the LA riots. Mind you, the National Guard base right across the fucking street, right down the street, where Rancho Cienega Park was, Dorsey High School, right behind Dorsey High, that's where the LA National Guard base was. I see them getting, so I'm like, what the fuck going on? Then my sister and my brother get home from school. They like, man, you see what's going on? I'm like, nah, I'm playing my Crocodile Mile. Nigga, I run up in there in the house, and I see Reginald Denny getting his ass whooped on TV. I'm like, yo, we passed, but that's that 76 gas station is the gas station my daddy stopped to get his zigzags and cigarettes at. That's the gas, my dad would always stop at that 76 to get his zigzags, a beer, and a pack of cigarettes. We'd have to pass that going to my grandmother's house. And we see this shit. So the riot cracking off. Yeah, Ren and Snippy was on back then too. And so we thinking we gonna say, oh, my mama come home from work. She like, no, we going to church. I'm like, well, mama, the city burning. No, that's why we need Jesus. Nigga, so we went to church. I missed Inspector Gadget. Because remember, Inspector Gadget would come on at 7. No, I was watching Inspector Gadget. It was, I think, what came out after Inspector Gadget? Was it Ren and Stimpy? I think it was Ren and Stimpy. But I missed it. Because we had to go to fucking church. While the LA riots is cracking off. I remember going down Rodeo Road, making a ride on La Brea, and seeing the Warehouse music. The same Warehouse music I bought my Michael Jackson Dangerous tape from. Burned down. Nigga. I was always in fucking, I also used to mix, remember, what was that cartoon with the big ass head? Bobby's World. I used to never get to see Bobby's World because Bobby's World came on Sundays and I had to be in church. The only time I never get to see Bobby's World was when I was like fake sick, so I didn't have to go to church. Stay home with my dad, because my dad never went to church back then. Remember Bobby's World? I always miss Bobby's World because of fucking church. If you a kid and you got to see Bobby's World because you didn't have to go to church, let me tell you right now, fuck you. If you in this chat room right now and you got to see Bobby's World because you didn't have to go to church, you can kiss my black ass, all right? Never got to see Bobby's World. Hell yeah, I missed out on Bobby's World, man. I was being told that Jesus is gonna kick my ass if I ain't do everything right. And anything that I do right, I better give credit to Jesus. Or Jesus, because Jesus, God's a jealous God. So if I do something right, I was being told you better give God the glory, goddammit. And if I do something wrong, nigga, you fucked up, nigga. Jesus didn't get his goddamn hands nailed to the cross for you to be fucking up, nigga. That's basically what the church tell you in a nutshell, ain't it? Hey, Markeith Collins, fuck you. You got to watch Bobby's World. I didn't. Yeah, see, Nicole, your sister used to fake sick to watch it. Man, I'm jealous of all you niggas that got to watch Bobby's World. But back to what we talking about. This broad king, the stud king, the woman coon. Download the caffeine app, and because I really went in depth on on caffeine on this topic. So when I'm done, I'll link that episode on the caffeine link in the description. I'll link the caffeine link in the description, so y'all can go ahead. Because, you know what I mean, they want to associate black women with being beasts. And they only want to see black men and black women fighting each other on camera. And all the people that wrote, directed, and produced this shit was white women. Man, Woman King, they had them chicks. They had them chicks looking like the '94 New York Knicks, didn't they? I'm like, what the fuck is Patrick Ewing and Anthony Mason doing out there? Rest in peace. Nigga, these chicks looking like Charles Oakley. Yeah, what the fuck is the '94 Houston Rockets doing out there? Is that Otis Thorpe? Had the 2004 Pistons, Ben Wallace and company. But no Tayshaun Prince, he too light. One dude, he said, looking like Warren Sapp. It says, no the fuck, look, no disrespect to you, but we gotta stop these cliches, man. People say things like it sells. No, it don't. No, it don't. You know what sells? Movies like Friday, extremely cheap to produce, make 2,000 times the amount of money. Friday's still making money. Had a $6 million budget. Shaft. That's what sells. Eddie Murphy films, they sell. We don't get that. Reginald Hudlin films, they sell. We don't get that. Hollywood ain't. Look, if this propaganda that Hollywood was putting out there sold like that, why do you think they need to give $3 Sundays? Let's think for a second. Let's all sit. Let me just take you on a journey real quick mentally. Want everybody just to hold your questions, hold your comments, sit down and relax your inhibitions and just listen to me real quick. There's a joint effort between movie theaters and film houses to have $3 movies on Sundays. Why? If they're selling, if they're producing good movies, they don't need to go as low as $3. They got to get you out there. They got to lower the price and have these specials and have these movie passes, $16 a month for 3 movies a week or whatever, because people don't go to the fucking movies no more. And I don't want to hear shit about the economy. Movies have always survived bad economies. People stop going to the movies when the movies aren't good anymore. Let's go back in history. This happened in the 60s. In the 60s, it was a lot of cookie cutter films, them bullshit ass Frank Sinatra films that they kept shoving down your throat, them bullshit ass Elvis films they kept shoving down your throat, Surfing in the USA, Fun in the Sun. That shit got whack. There was white flight. Them theaters were, for the most part, open and not being used. Hollywood wasn't making. Hollywood was going bankrupt. Even when The Godfather came out in 1971, the movies were so bad, people didn't want to give it a chance. Then they came out with Shaft, and The Mac, and Superfly, and they gave the niggas a chance. Very low budgets. People came out in droves to the movies. They do it now. They release bullshit. Then let's give you the Black Panther. Because we really know what you niggas want. Now we gonna put, because one thing about black people, see, this is what they understand about us that we don't understand. We move the needle for everyone else. So if you can get black people to generate a buzz, that means the Mexicans are gonna watch it, the Asians are gonna watch it, and every group that say they hate black people, they're gonna be first in line to watch it. That's why everybody watches the NFL and the NBA, and as much shit as they talk, they got all white hockey, all white volleyball, mostly white and Latino baseball, and they don't watch none of that shit. They got all white NASCAR, they don't watch that shit. The eyes on the major eyes are on the NBA and the NFL. And they could talk all the shit they want about the UFC, but let a good boxing match come in where you get 2 prime black fighters. Watch the world watch when Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight, they could talk all the shit that they want. But when them 2 black kings get in the ring, the world's going to pay attention. They can say boxing is dead all they want. Every time Floyd Mayweather fought, the world stopped to watch. They know what makes money, but they understand something that most people don't. And you ain't got to listen to me. Noam Chomsky says this. Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister of World War II Nazi Germany, he said he learned from the Americans what propaganda is. The entertainment industry, including sports, is propaganda first, entertainment second. All this shit is propaganda first. TV commercials, movies. If it goes to music, if it goes through a mainstream channel, Sony, Sinclair Media, Fox, NBC Universal, Netflix, if it has mainstream backing, it's propaganda first, entertainment second. It's all a story. It's all a story. That's what it is. So people go to movies and they just say, hey, we can't just have fun. It's just a movie. Yeah, all right, cool. Now, if you want, you can have that mindset. That's fine. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. I don't want nobody fucking listening to me. You got to follow your own heart. I just throw out some suggestions that hopefully make you think. And if you think, hopefully you come up with a decision that's going to make your life better. You dig what I'm saying? But when it come down to it, when you look at what they do with the propaganda, it's all created to put images in your mind about how society is run. That's why children understand the color system and their place in society by the age of 5, because they've been watching Walt Disney cartoons. And the people who put this shit together, these are master scientists at imagery and subconscious programming. The people who write these films, the people who do the screenplays, the set designers, you might be like, man, it's a black person that directed it. Yeah, but who was the set designer? Who created the storyboard? Who edited the films and put up and flash certain symbols and images? Because our brains work through symbols and images. Who set up those symbols and images in the back of certain scenes which your conscious eyes can't pick on, but your subconscious picked up on and read the whole message? All this shit's going on every time you watch a TV commercial, every time you watch a movie, every song you listen to that's pushed out through the propaganda machine. This is going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't give you a break. You can't watch anything where they're not trying to program you. I'm not saying this as death, doom, and gloom. I'm just saying that if you choose to watch that kind of stuff, be critical and be entertained, but also guard your eyes and ears and be critical of what you're watching. Don't just accept what they put in front of you. That's all I'm saying. If you understand that principle, watch wherever the hell you want to watch. I don't give a fuck. My name is Chuck. I don't give two fucks. But this is what's going on psychologically, whether you want to believe it or not. You don't have to believe it. See, the beautiful thing about science doesn't require your belief. Science just is. And when it comes to programming the mind and subconscious, these psychologists and these people are scientists with it. They scientifically do these things to you. They're very efficient. They know what they're doing. The brain has worked the same way for millennia on top of millennia. We've been Homo sapiens for a few 100,000 years. This brain has worked and functioned the same way for a few 100,000 years. The Kushites knew how it worked. The Watusi knew how it worked down there in South Africa. The indigenous Algonquin here in America knew how it worked. Also, this is these Europeans. These only motherfuckers new to this shit. A lot of them ancient societies knew the fuck. The Olmec knew how this shit worked. Nigga. The old science on how this brain worked. But this TV, you didn't get a TV in every home. You didn't start getting a TV in every home until the 60s. The 60s and really into the 70s. There was one TV in every home. You know, even when you get to the 80s, it still wasn't even common to have a TV in every room until you get into the 80s. It was the 80s when you started getting a TV in every room. And it was the 90s when people started getting cable in every room. Shit, your parents had a regular ass job, nigga. That cable box was in the living room only. Nigga, Continental Cable was charging way too much money to put other boxes in the bedroom. So back in the 90s, nigga, I had Monday with the TV. My sister had Tuesday. My brother had Wednesday, nigga, and I had Thursday. And we rotate the schedule because there's only one cable box, nigga. And my mom would be on the phone, so she didn't care. And my dad be in the backyard smoking weed, so he didn't care. Nigga, so we gotta remember, this whole TV thing is very new in our evolution. Even for us that are in our 40s and late 30s, we went outside. Even us, we didn't watch fucking TV all the goddamn time. Nigga, we watch our cartoons in the morning on Saturday. Nigga, then it's out the house. Nigga, I watch cartoons on Saturday morning, and then WWF Superstars will come on at 10 o'clock. Nigga, Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Big John Studd, nigga. Superfly Jimmy Snuka versus Barry Horowitz. Nigga. Jake the Snake Roberts versus the Big Boss Man. You would never see Hulk Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior on Saturday. They never came on Saturday. But you see the motherfucking Bushwhackers versus the Nasty Boys. And nigga, but nigga, when wrestling went off, that shit was from 10 to 11. Nigga, wrestling go off, nigga, we outside. And we be outside, especially in the summertime, on Slauson and Broadway. Nigga, we be outside till 11, 12, sometimes 1 in the morning. Playing hide and go seek, playing tag. 1988, LA. The highest crime murder rate in the country that year. We be out playing freeze tag till 1 in the morning. Because my parents and my grandparents would be up in the house playing spades. And everybody on the block, they parents, like in the summertime, everybody on the block, nigga, you know, niggas kick it on the porch. So Miss Watson down the street, she be on the porch with her family. You know, Mr. Darnell down the street, he be on the porch with his family, nigga. In the middle of crack LA, I'm in the hood of the hood, nigga. But we be out playing freeze tag, nigga, till 1 in the morning. Playing baseball in the streets. See, we knew we got away from the TV. We had time away. But as you get to the kids that was born like in 1989 and 90, by the time they got to like 7, 8 years old in 98, it wasn't no more being out like that. You get into the 2000s, them kids didn't go outside like that. They all inside the house in front of that fucking TV. But the brain is hundreds of thousands of years old in its current Homo sapien format. Of course, we existed before as Homo erectus, as Homo habilis, and the other iterations of human being. But the current iteration, Homo sapien, logical thinking man, creative man, a few 100,000 years. TV in every home, 1960. I was talking to my wife's parents about that. Like my wife's mom was saying like she remembers getting their first TV in the house like in like 1968. That was when they got their first TV. You know? And so that's what was really that's what was going down at that time. And so you're only a few generations into TV in every home, TV in every room. And then cable TV. Shit, there was a time with us, TV turned off. They play that bullshit ass national anthem. Then after that, all you see is them fucking gray and black speckles. Black and white. Psh. Then you fall asleep with the TV off, TV on, nigga. You wake up to psh. So your brain still remembers. Your brain believes what it sees. Your brain believes what it sees. You can't turn that off. You can critically with your eyes be like, no, I'm not going to. All right. I don't even go to church no more, but some days I'll be talking, I'll just be thinking, and you ever just think of an old song from church? You don't even remember. Like earlier, I just sang that Crocodile Mile song. I haven't heard that fucking commercial in 30 years. But it just came back. You see how that subconscious programming works? And now you see why people have the opinions they have of one another? When the TV has been telling you what you should think about other people? There's nothing on TV saying you should understand the humanity within people. There's nothing, they don't give instructions on understanding and looking for and sourcing for good qualities in people and looking past the surface level and giving people the respect that you want. None of that's in the propaganda. None of that. That's some shit you better learn. You better hope you got parents to teach you that shit or an uncle or somebody. You ain't gonna get it through that TV. And these are the people displaying our women as these wild beasts that go around chopping motherfuckers' heads off. When really what they were doing was getting weapons from the French to sell black people to Europeans. And that's why they ended up becoming colonized. And that's why they ended up becoming slaves on their own land. And that's why they're still there. The kingdom of Dahomey disbanded in 1904. All them motherfuckers is now fucking, they call them, them niggas call themselves goddamn people from Lagos and people from goddamn Nigeria. They've been dispersed all goddamn through Africa. Because they made the devil's deal, the devil's bargain. And they still making them devil's bargains, fighting each other and shit. Yeah, it's a country of Benin, but the way the lines, the borders were drawn up in the from the Berlin Conference, they still share land. Like it's not as crisp as they try to make it in today's current maps. You still got the country of Benin, you got the country of Lagos, you got the country of Nigeria all right there. But during the intra-slave trade within Africa that Europeans put on it, they shuffled them motherfuckers all the way up, them Europeans. You think them motherfuckers let them stay on? Man, they shuffled them up the same way they shuffled us up. You're right, we are programmed not to dance in the club anymore. You're right, symbols, repetition, and trauma program the mind. Yep. Nigga said MASH. You gotta realize what they did when that Berlin Conference. A lot of those tribal lands, a lot of those ancient societies, when they drew them lines up in a Berlin Conference, they separated tribes oftentimes into 2 and 3 different countries. And they would split one tribe up and googly gop them with another tribe and call, okay, this country's called Benin. But the way the lines are drawn, it's kind of getting people from traditional battlegrounds to now be a part of the same country. And then they shipped people and shuffled the people. Same as they did here in the Americas. Most of your slave trade in America was intra-slave trade. Black natives in the North in Michigan being caught and captured and sent down the Mississippi River and sold into plantations in the South. People forget that's how Rikers Island got started. Rikers Island was a fucking slave, was a slave camp. They would capture free blacks. Those, see up there in the upper Northeast, those were dark-skinned pride. The Seneca tribe, the Algonquin. It's a whole list, hundreds of dark-skinned black tribes up there. Them crackers would catch these motherfuckers, and you can make money catching wayward niggas. They go sit in Rikers Island. sold off the plantations down south. Doing similar shit like that in Africa. White folks don't really, they find a formula and stick to it. There's very little innovation to their formula. And there's, up to this point, there's never needed to be much innovation in their formula. Because black people traditionally don't pay attention to them and don't study them. We be thinking we the worst. And we don't study them. Oh shit, Mars is above the horizon. Mars looking beautiful. Jupiter's looking beautiful. Y'all see Jupiter? Y'all see? Y'all see right there? Where's my finger? Y'all see there? Y'all see that dot, nigga? Hell yeah, that's Jupiter. Planet of expansion. Yeah. So the biggest thing is just that as long as people are aware that it's propaganda, you can do a fairly decent job of filtering through a lot of the bullshit. You know what I mean? But when you see this stuff as just entertainment, oh man, you fucking yourself up. I'm gonna do a YouTube show next week on my book. Once it's finally up on my website. Start teaching some classes on the book, break it down chapter by chapter with y'all on Patreon. That's only gonna be on the masterclass level of Patreon. And if you sign up for Patreon, the masterclass level, you will get a free copy of the book. All right? So remember, where's Saturn? If you look to the sky and you look turn your neck about 10 degrees, you'll see Saturn. If you spot Jupiter and then look to your right about 10 to 20 degrees, you'll see Saturn. But also, if you look to your left about 30 degrees, you'll see Mars. If you look up to Jupiter and look to your left about 30 degrees, you'll see Mars. If you look to your right about 20 degrees, you'll see Saturn. I'm sorry, I'm an astronomy nerd, goddammit. And I'm a dope-ass card reader, too. If y'all got some relationship issues, hit me up. My card reading services, I keep forgetting to tell y'all, is 20% for the rest of the month. Product code September. Type in the product code September. Card services, 20% off through the end of the month. All right. Thank y'all for listening. I'm out.